True, sir.
Okay, fine. We are going to learn a very, very popular language. Actually, yes, it's called C#. I hope you are all quite familiar with this. This comes under the framework of .NET. A little history I'd like to tell you about .NET is .NET started off as uh, Visual Studio. Then actually Visual Basic. If you go to the lines, you started off with Visual Basic. Thereafter, then came as Visual C++ also was included in that. Then after later on, it became they rewrote the whole code and it became .NET. And this .NET we started off with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and today it's actually 7, and now beta version is there, which is 8 also almost come. But we'll be learning in .NET 6 now. Hello? Yes, we'll be learning in .NET 6 now presently. Hello? Yeah. So I'd just like to show you a small thing, how everything is arranged, in .NET. So just 1 minute, I'm just sharing my screen now. And actually, .NET 6 also has got, with ADO, that is ADO is called, it stands for ActiveX Data Objects. It started off as just ADO, but now they have just included the suffix .NET because they just wanted to have it very, very simple. Of course, ADO.NET also was written right from groundnet up. And let me share the screen now. Okay. So this is the .NET framework now, which we are going to study. And as you can see, there's a very big rectangle, the biggest rectangle here, which is having 2 smaller rectangles, with one a bigger rectangle inside that, which is called Common Language Runtime, or CLR, which is in safe mode. Actually, why is it in safe mode? If you're telling, if you people are from the background of computers or C++, if you know, C++, have got these pointers and all these things. And pointers actually is a very, very, if you know about pointers, it opens you another, a world of, twiddling with the bits and bytes and everything. But without pointers also, you can get fairly good enough, because the pointers, they are mostly used for memory storages and all those things. So without pointers also, we can do a lot of good things. So what C++ without pointers is called safe mode. As well as C#, of course, it does not. You can tell it does support pointers, but we will not go into pointers currently. So it's safe mode. And VB.NET, of course, again, without pointers. And F# is a fairly new language, but it is picking up very fast. It's functional programming. We learn, of course, in C# itself, we learn something about function. But if you are interested in F#, you can go and study more about that. So this common language runtime, this is an intrinsic thing of .NET framework, and it supports these 4 languages, which are C#, I told you, without pointers. C++.NET without pointers. VB.NET, of course, it does not support pointers, and F#.NET. I really don't know. I have not studied much about F#.NET, so I don't know whether it supports pointers or not. But anyway, nevertheless, we are going to study about C#.NET. And this is not good. This is going to be a good without pointers. So if you leave this, these are the intrinsic languages. That is the code language. What we have got. We will see what the how the language is written. Like we have got if statement, we have got loop statement, we have got declaration statements of the data type, various data types and everything. And then after, when we leave this common language runtime, we come to another, inside this .NET framework itself, we come to another thing called ASP.NET. In this course, we are not going to touch ASP.NET, but I will tell you what is ASP.NET also now. ASP.NET stands for Active Server Pages. If you are coming from Java background, you must have heard about Java server pages. This is a server-based programming. Of course, the server client is all a different concept altogether, and how we are going to. If you're interested after this course, you can continue ASP.NET, which is server-based programming. And this server-based programming is totally a web-based. This is all. While we talked about common language that time, this is all desktop. Desktop program. But ASP.NET is totally a different cup of tea, wherein we have got to see what is about serialization, so many other things, sessions. We have got sessions in that. We have got view state. We have got application state. So many things are there in ASP.NET. It's very, 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 very interesting. But if you now ASP.NET also now has been split up into so many things. Of course, .NET. This is .NET 4 or .NET. You can calculate .NET 4, but .NET 6. When it comes to .NET 6, ASP.NET web forms was there in .NET. Web forms, WEBFORMS. So web forms was there in .NET framework, but wherein when you go into this common language runtime, the intrinsic is called WinForms. There is Windows Forms is there, but here we have got web forms. And this web form was ultimately, abandoned. Now, of course, we don't have. There are a lot of code written in web forms also now, but it's also a good stepping point to learn from web forms. But now with more concentration is there in something with the new technology, which is called not a new technology, it's an old technology, but they have included this in .NET framework, which is called MVC, Model View Controller. And of course, that's a different cup of tea. And now their web forms have been abandoned. And so if you're going to see the same thing in for .NET 6, you will see that .NET 6 has got ASP.NET MVC now. And then afterwards, we have got Razor pages, we have got Blazor. It's all developing by leaps and bounds. So, as they say, we have got a saying in the computer, community. If a program works, okay. If you take so much difficulty and try to make a program and it works, that means it's already obsolete. That is the way it is said. So that means if a program works, already somebody has developed that program and it's already old. So that's the pace at which computer thing. Of course, now if you are seeing that now AI has come and ChatGPT and so many things have come, which also, of course, can be combined with .NET framework. And we can, there's no limit now. It's actually going, and people are just finding out how this thing is going to finally crystallize. But it'll take a long time because every time a crystallization of a particular this thing happens, again become old and again something new has to come. So that's what's happening. So this is just was a small this thing about .NET framework. And .NET framework, if you're this is .NET framework is run with a thing called Visual Studio.NET. And Visual Studio.NET, if you of course you have got to install Visual Studio.NEt, they have come out with a new thing called Visual Studio.NET Community Edition is absolutely free, and you can install Visual Studio Community Edition, and it is registered with a valid email ID. So if you have got an email ID, or else if you don't want you to have your personal email ID for registration, you can create email ID and you can register it with .NET framework. This, I mean, Visual Studio Community Edition. So now Visual Studio Community Edition is a very basically it is an editor, and we have got again a lot of this thing we can do with WinForms. Of course, the Visual Studio 2022, as I told you, it supports WinForms, but it does not support. Of course, it's already the WinForms has been abandoned, as this thing. But we can write a lot of programs with WinForms. Of course, WinForms is a very important thing because it writes all these desktop applications. It can be also run in a LAN, and you can have your database and everything in one particular computer, which will be acting as a server, and we can have something called thin clients, and these clients will be having their own exe version of the program, and they will they will connect if they want save anything, they will connect with this thing with the server and this thing. So there's a lot of things going on. If yeah, I will tell you in the course of time and course how we can make a LAN system with desktop server and this thing and with time to thin clients. Okay, so this was a small basic this thing of this thing. Of course, ASP.NET is again on the web. We have got web forms and we see Razor pages. We have got Razor, which is actually for browser and Razor combined together. And it goes on. It is still evolving, and there's no limit to it. Of course, now Angular also has come. It can be connected with the .NET framework, which is Angular. Basically, it started off its life as a front end UI, that is the user interface. But now, and I think that Angular also is going towards connecting with the database and everything. And ASP this Microsoft, it's of course .NET is a Microsoft product. It's the Microsoft product, and Microsoft also is not a big behind. With the coming of Razor pages and Razor pages, I think that it is competing with Angular and React. So we have got so many things. It's a lot of things, technologies together, and so many things are just merging together, and they want to show their own abilities to perform a certain task. They don't want to depend upon Angular, or they don't want to depend upon React. Nevertheless, now presently Angular also can be merged with .NET Studio. I mean, Visual Studio .NET 2022 also supports Angular combination and React combinations also. So now when we see how this .NET framework is there, you can also have JavaScript, HTML, CSS, of course, for the ASP.NET. That is the web programming side. These are will not be connected directly with Win forms or Windows forms, but these are for the thing. Of course, other languages also we can write in .NET framework like Python or when Ruby on Rails. So many things are there. Okay, so now leave those apart. Now coming to our basic thing where we have got our application. You see here, I told you your application which will be the C#, VB, or C++, or F#, something like that, will be directly contacting this thing, and based on whether it's the Windows desktop programming or whether it's web programming, it will automatically connect to that particular platform. Fine. Now coming to the database part of it. As I told you, this .NET framework is totally, completely a front end. It cannot, by its own, it does not have any sort of a database within the .NET framework where you can write. And if you want to connect to the database, we have got something called an ADO.NET, which is ActiveX data object. They are already told. Now this ActiveX data object. Okay, before that, this .NET framework which you are going to see, it is going to be called as a single layer. There is one layer. There is the single layer or one tier, TIER. Which is actually like it's a single one tier system. And when you come to if you're going to connect to the database, we have to connect it through something called ADO.NET, which is ADO.NET is actually is a multi-library. It's got multiple libraries we have got in ADO.NET. So now each and every database provider like SQL Server, MS Access, of course, developed by Microsoft again. And we have got Oracle, we have got MySQL. MySQL, of course, is a very, the open source. And you have got different like PostgreSQL. So many databases are there. And how this ADO.NET is connected with the databases, ADO.NET provides something called a provider, which is actually a driver. Is actually, if you have seen, when you connect a USB pen drive to your computer, it's actually a hardware. The USB pen drive is a hardware, and you connect it to a hardware of the your laptop or your desktop. When you connected this hardware and hardware, there's a small software being loaded from the USB hard drive. So it loads the hardware. This thing is connected to this thing, and this software is called a driver. A driver is a software which connects a hardware and a hardware. But here now we are going to connect ADO.NET, which is actually .NET framework through ADO.NET through all these databases. So there are two softwares. So software and software, we call it when you connect a software and a software, we call it a provider instead of the driver. So you will see a lot of providers are there for SQL Server, as I told you, MS Access, Oracle, MySQL, and this will connect. And then afterward, we have got your database application here, which will be served by SQL Server or MS Access or Oracle or MySQL again, and which will taken by the provider and connected to ADO.NET. And so now this becomes something like a three-tier system. So your this thing is UI will be .NET framework, and ADO.NET will be your second tier. Okay, and this your database will be a third tier. So actually ADO. Now when you see this ADO.NET, it's when you're actually going to program with this thing, you will see that ADO.NET seamlessly, very seamlessly, it attaches itself to the SQL Server, so that you from ADU.NET downwards onward, it can be thought of as a single layer itself, but actually it is a 3-layer system. But you can think of this from ADU.NET to all your application server. I mean your database application as SQL server. You can call it as a single layer. So you can think it as a as a single layer, but it's actually a 3-layer system. But you can think it as a single layer. So when you have got .NET framework, the thing why I'm stressing you on this is because your application, we can write something called a business module, a business object. So we can call something called a we can call business object, or it's known also as BO, which will form a layer which between ADO.NET and your .NET framework. So this BO will be written in C# and whichever language you're going to write, or VB or C++ or F#, whatever it is. And this BO will be acting as a interface between ADO.NET or your database, which is actually connected through ADO.NET. But again, we are thinking now this is a single layer. And this BO will be connecting the .NET framework and ADO.NET. You will see we'll be working separately with this BO. We will see that in our project we can have 2 or 3 projects in our in our project, which is called actually a solution. Now they have renamed it as solution. Solution can contain 1, 2, 3, 4, how many other projects you want. And of course, testing is there, which we are not going to do actually here now, unit testing and everything, because we are going to concentrate more on Windows Forms program, WinForms program. So this BO will be there, where it will take care of all your reading and writing to ADO.NET from the front end. Okay, so this is how the whole thing is connected together. So you can see the .NET framework here, and how we have got as I told you, C#. We will be learning a C# now, and we have got C++, VB.NET, and F# and everything, and how these things are connected together and done. Fine. So I hope you are quite you have understood how the total .NET framework is completely working in combination with your programming. Okay, now there's a new kid on the block, which is called XML database application. We are not going to touch it. I just want you to be aware of what is XML. XML database application does not require a provider. It's a really amazing thing. And your XML, it is of course called extended markup language, which is very, very similar to ASP.NET. But many of the people, there's actually a sort of contradiction between many people. XML, some people tell that XML database, XML should be used only for transport for protocols like you have got SOAP, Simple Object Application Protocol. For this thing, but XML also can be treated as a database, can be written as a database, and of course, .NET framework, it supports XML as a database, and XML you can you're aware of that. It can be written with a notepad. We need not have any special software like SQL Server or MS Access, Oracle, MySQL, and it can be it's a totally a hierarchical software, and what all you cannot represent as SQL Server and everything. You have got to do something called normalization and everything. For example, the raw data, which we'll study in detail very much. So what is data mining, and how raw data is converted into polished data for the SQL Server. But here in Excel, we have got just the raw data, and of course we are going to do with all the nodes and attributes and everything we are going to do with that. But of course, we are not going to touch with XML database. To write these things, we can. If you want, we can pursue that. If you want, it's a very good this thing. And if you are interested, you can. We can have a course on that also. You can ask our, your people who have introduced this thing, and we can have a XML database application also. Anyway, now we are going to connect with .NET framework through ADO.NET, and we are going to primarily work with SQL Server. Okay, this was our small introduction about how .NET framework is totally combined and everything. Then after, what we are going to do is we are going to actually do a project like this. We are going to do a project which is a supermarket project. If you want, I will send you one thing also for this, a copy of this one. We have got all these purchases, we have got sales, then we have got inventory, we have got accounts, we have got staff salary. And here we are not, I'm not going to teach you each and everything for this thing. I'm just going to tell you about what is about purchase orders, or maybe bills, what we have got, we have this thing, and we have got, of course, you can start writing with what I teach. You can start writing about all these classes and objects and all those things. Of course, which comes under object-oriented programming system, which is relatively a new sort of. We have a structured programming we have got. Anyway, to know a very good understanding about this sort of a project and everything, and because I'm going to teach you from a project development side rather than just basic programming and just if and statement and just connecting and this thing and all those things. No, I'm going to teach you from a level of how you can make a project and how can you become a project leader, and from there you can start off your life, of course, as your career. And of course, if you're going to go to any thing, they will definitely put you as a supporter only, and then afterwards, of course, you can climb up the ladder very easily with the knowledge or what you have already got here. Okay, we'll be learning something called system analysis and design also, which is very important for us for to explain. I mean to write this system. So I will be explaining to you what a system is and how the system can be subdivided into so many systems. Actually, this is it's supposed to be a very rough diagram. Of course, in the computer, I'm not having where we cannot write. Actually, these are called data flows. The arrows which are going from one place to another place. These are called data flows, and these data flows actually has to be written whatever. For example, number 4. From PO generation to number, if you see 1, okay, from products to PO generation is number 1. So we can, I've just written here down. I've written what is there, what are the data flows, products info for PO generation. So these things actually should be, you have to take a big paper. I usually do it with a old calendar. We take an old calendar, and backside I usually do all these drawings and everything with the pencil, of course. And you can and I write the exact names wherein everything has to be in. And of course, this is called an entity. That is external entity. External entity means the first and foremost thing what we have got to why we make the design is, which is called this is a system analysis, which we call design. We are going to set a scope for it. Of course, before that also there's another one small diagram. It's called context analysis diagram, CAD for short. don't confuse it with CAD with all the other things, but this is context analysis diagram. I will just show you how it is. We just have a big so there's thing, and we just put in all the inputs we have got, and we just take out all the outputs. So primarily, if you are going to see what is the output we want from a system is mostly we want to give information about in the form of reports. So this will be our outputs, our output, so that it will be of some use to the management who are, for example, purchases. So we have to generate a report. What are the purchases having? Which material has been purchased a lot, so that we can stock up those materials and give a sort of logical idea about everything. Similarly, purchases, we have got so many things, and then we have got sales, and then we have got accounts, and we have got HR and daily expenses, and of course, and how these are going to be. We'll just have a look about this thing. Of course, I will give you all this diagrams and everything, and you can learn more about it. And one more thing I'd like to tell you is I'll be teaching you, of course, just about maybe 1 hour or 1.5 hours or maximum 2 hours every day. But you have got to put in at least minimum 4 to 5 hours every day on this. Just at least, I usually tell my student at least start at the diagram and then, try to register everything. What is there in the diagram, each and everything is each and every data flow is important here. So you can just go in. Then from the data flow, we can have of course I told you about one thing is which is called the what is it, external entities. Then we have got something called files, which are, I told you about the scope. We have got the scope first, then we have got the files. So files are something, which is there inside. Okay, now we have got about the system. I told you that this purchase is a subsystem, which is there actually, in fact, inside the system. It cannot come outside the system. So that's why it is in a form of a circle or an ellipse. So all these things which are a form of a circle or ellipse has to be inside the system. It cannot come outside the system. But once it comes out of the outer system, it becomes a external entity. Anyway, now these files are there. Now these files can be which are generated inside the system, and the files, it can be taken out. Okay, these files can be taken out. So that's why we have got our square and these things and everything. And it's a very, very interesting thing if you're going to study about system analysis. At least I have been studying, and if you're interested, really, it's going to be a matter of lot. Then we have got, of course, from this system, we generate all the files and everything. What are the files? How we get all the files, and we have written about the files here as well. So these are about 24 files I have generated from this thing. Then we have got this. Then from the files we can make the tables. We can make the tables, and then afterwards we can normalize the tables. After normalization, everything, I'll tell you how to do it with everything. These are all normalized tables and everything we have generated from this. And we have got, of course, here the single tables are there, then 2 tables are there. Combination, there is master and detail table, master detail table. We have got 2, I put 7A7, 8A, 8A, and everything. So all these things are there. And we have got employed so many this thing if you are going to see. Then afterwards, finally, we have got, of course, this one I just wrote it just for my interest, but this is actually not overkill. Just what each and every data flows read, do. So that the data flows and what each and every data flow, what tables are read and what tables are updated Of course, I've not completed this thing, but the beginning I think so I've written, yeah, say tables read, purchase rate log, and tables updated. So we have got so many things here. PO to supplier, table updated, supplier PO. So many things there. Of course, this will, of course, then finally I come to object object diagrams, simple object diagram. We have got supplier, we'll be working with collections and all those things. Collection and what's a collection and what's an interface, what an abstract class interface and what is the difference between abstract class and interface, and so many things we'll be doing here. And we have got complex collection, that is a collection, a simple object containing a collection again. So how this is all going to be logically interrelated and everything. So we'll see all the things when we write everything. So the first thing I learned in my career of programming is when you start, when you've been given a project, don't just rush and start coding. You have to start first, take a piece of paper and a pencil and just start doing the analysis, design, and everything. And there's a sort of a percentage, for system analysis and design. And what is analysis? Your analysis and design will take about nearly 30% of our time, 30 to 40%. And then after, coding actually is the very easiest part of the programming. Coding is the very easiest part of the programming. System analysis and design is the most difficult. And then after, we got about 30 to 35% for system analysis and design, then 30 to 35% for coding. Then we have got about 15% to deploy, another balance 15% for for any problems which may arise with the client and everything. You can just go there or just solve the matters. So this was a short this thing what I've given. And I'd also like to tell you about how we are going to go in this course. So we are going to start off with the basic thing. So you need not have any sort of a prior knowledge about any coding or something. We are going to start right from the scratch. Of course, if it is better if you know something about Excel, Excel formulas. But even that is not necessary. But at least Excel, how you write Excel and all the things, copy paste and all those things. So the adding some averages and all those small petty formulas there. So all those things we know, that's enough. And of course, if you're able to send an email, receive an email, and if you're able to write, this is enough for you to do this thing. Okay, fine. So this will be this thing, and then we start off with data types. What are data types? How they are very, very close related with any programming language for that matter. We have got to study first about data type, not only .NET. You want to study about JavaScript, you want to study about anything of data type, and what is a strongly typed language, and what is the loosely typed language. Why JavaScript is called JavaScript is called a loosely typed language. Why C# is called a strongly typed language. We also will see about that and all those things. We'll see about subtypes. We'll see about data structures, or design patterns, what those are actually. And then afterwards we'll go on to, of course, introduce with object-oriented programming and how object-oriented. We'll go and see what is an object, what's a class, what's an object, what's a collection, what's the interface, what's an abstract class. We'll also learn about what is boxing, what is unboxing, and so many other small such terms we will come across. And finally, how the whole project is totally made, how it is made, and how the thing will learn about how to create menus and how to jump from one menu to another menu and all those things. So these are all things we are going to talk about in our this thing. So I hope you have understood everything. And I'd like to have any doubts you have got, you can ask me now. And can I know, please, my students, please. Hello? Hello? Who are my students? And I'd like to know what's their background and everything. Hello? So ready?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you are a student or are you from the?
Like I just completed my
So,
master's, sir. I'm just like training
oh,
in the
you have
training.
completed your master, so this will be very, very
Yes.
easy for you. Huh?
My
So,
AD, it's been already like
yeah,
it's been started, sir. Like
yeah.
so, we're just training.
So you have understood what I told you now?
Yeah, sir. Actually, I'm having some doubts, sir. Like,
Yeah, please ask.
yeah, sir. As you said, like we need like more practice on coding than like theoretical.
No, no, we'll
So,
be doing actually coding only very much. We'll not.
oh, okay,
This
okay.
was a demo session. I just wanted to. We are
Okay.
going to start with coding. I am not a person who just going to tell you what the theory and just wrap it up. No, we are going to write the code only. Every of course the first 1 or 2 lessons will be about how. Of course, in fact, the first lesson is going to be about coding. We are just going to write about a small calculator program. We are going to do a calculator program, how plus, minus, multiplication, division. This will be our this thing. Then afterward, we just go into database connection, and then afterward, we just directly go into supermarket analysis and design, and just do about those things. You know, we have got to like do you know something about normalization or something like that? You know, you have heard about normalization. Must have surely done.
Actually, sir, like I don't know. I mean, I'm from EC, like so we're like.
Oh, you're from EC. You're not from computer programming background.
No, sir, not computer programming. So I'll leave
Okay,
like.
fine.
Yeah, but I will practice on Excel. Like I'll practice from.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be very easy. Don't worry. It's going to be very easy. And
but
any more on what today? What I've told about this? How this .NET framework works? Have you understood clearly?
Yeah, I understood, sir. Like actually, like in our EC, we have like some basic training on C. So the Microsoft Visual Studios and everything, I'm having some little bit knowledge on it. So it's gonna be some. I'll just practice it up and wrap it up again. So it's gonna be easy for getting onto.
Yeah. Anybody else student? Ruthvik?
Yeah. Ruthvik actually. 1 second.
Hello.
Yes, please. Please go ahead. Hello. You can unmute the mic, your mic, and speak.
Hey, hello, sir. I didn't see
Yeah.
that my mic is mute. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So have you understood what I've taught today?
I like everything, sir. As the Ranveer said, it's about the coding, and you told him that we're gonna do from the coding. It's like a demo
Of
section.
course, we are. Yeah,
Apart
this is a
from
demo
that, I like
section. Coding is
everything.
going to be Coding is going to be. We are going to. You will tell me enough. Till then, I'm not going to leave you.
Okay. We've been it's like so we got some same questions, and you cleared everything with the Ranveer's question. That's it. We're good,
Yes.
sir.
Okay. Fine.
Very
good.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Yeah, most welcome. So, well, you will share the timings when we are going to have. I don't know. I don't know about the timings and everything. You can just contact our SSIT software and you can just fix up the timings.
Yeah, sure, sir. Sure. I'll contact them, and they're gonna let us know about timings.
Okay, please.
Oh,
So
okay,
I
sir.
will see you. See you
Next
in the
class.
class. Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
next
Thank
class.
you very
Sure,
much.
sir. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Very much.
Mm.
Okay, thank you, sir. Have a great day.